less than 6 months to World Cup time. I don't know about you, I tried to get tickets, I couldn't get tickets, but if you are lucky enough to have tickets to come to Canada, we want to make sure that you can actually get into Canada. So Zia and I today are going to go through a few things that you need to know in order to get your visas or your ETAs to come to Canada.
There's two options. Either you need a visitor visa or you need an ETA, which is an Electronic Travel Authorization. And how to determine which of these you need depends on your country of citizenship. So citizens of certain countries require visitor visas, and citizens of other countries require ETAs to come to Canada. Now with visitor visas, you need to submit your forms, your documents, submit an application online for the visitor visa. And you want to make sure that you're doing this well in advance to allow for IRCC to process your application, to grant you the visitor visa, and time for your passport to actually be stamped with the visa itself. So you want to make sure that you're leaving yourself enough time to apply, get approved, and get the visa before your intended travel date to Canada. With the Electronic Travel Authorization, it's a little bit of a simpler process. You have to go online, specifically on IRCC's website, and apply online for the ETA through an online form. Should only take a couple of minutes. There's an application fee of $7. It's all done through IRCC's website. And for most applicants, you do get a decision almost immediately.
And for the lucky Americans, you guys are the only ones who don't need visas or ETAs. You can just come to Canada and you'll speak to the visa officer and make sure that you're able to enter Canada. Now, if you're not sure if you need a visa or ETA, we're going to include a link in the comments of the video so that you can click on that link and you can go through the questions from IRCC to determine whether or not you need a visa or ETA. Now, we have been hearing in the news that there are some unscrupulous people online that have been telling people, hey, you know, you can use this excuse to come into Canada to watch the World Cup and then stay without status or work without a work permit. That is a very dangerous thing to do. That's certainly not something that we would advise. But as a result of these kind of claims, the officers are not just going to give you a visa just because you're lucky enough to show that you have a ticket to the World Cup. Zia, what are some of the things that people need to show when they're applying for a visa that would try to convince an officer that their genuine reason to come to Canada is because of the World Cup and that they're likely to leave Canada when the authorization to enter Canada ends?
Certainly. So when an officer is evaluating a visitor visa application, they're looking at multiple different factors. So first, they're looking to see what is your purpose of coming here? How long are you intending to be in Canada? So things like showing your ticket to the games, showing that you have flights both back to Canada and from Canada, looking at how long you're planning on staying here, what else you're planning to do here in Canada. That's all part of what an officer is looking at. More than that, they're also looking to see what are your ties back to your country of citizenship. So are you employed back home? Are you studying back home? Do you have family? What is it that's basically motivating you to go back to your country of citizenship at the end of your visit to Canada? Officers are also looking at your finances. So they're looking to say, can you financially support yourself while you're here in Canada without having to work? That's a big part of what an officer looks at, to see that you will be able to financially sustain yourself while you're here visiting without having to engage in any sort of work.
And be very careful if your application has a rejection. If you had a rejection in the past, your application will likely be flagged and the officers will be scrutinizing your application very closely. And if you apply this time and your application is rejected, then subsequent applications will also likely be flagged as well. So if you have any issues with applying for visas, do let us know and we can advise you and help you with your applications. I'm really hoping that you guys, if you have your World Cup tickets, you'll be joining us for this exciting time. And hopefully we'll see you in Canada soon. Take care, everyone.
Take care.